So you want to know how people just come together and start a radio station in Denmark,
Can
where radio is like the Wild West.
can you tell us? Can you share
Yeah.
this story, or is this something like
Okay,
off
I
the rails?
can. Oh no, I can. Okay. Um, it was I was in my early 20s, and I was actually a graphic designer, or training to be a graphic designer at the time, and I've been a DJ for years, and loved doing playing music and mixing music and stuff like that. And there was just not an opportunity to go into radio, because the situation in Denmark back then was like there was only the national government owned broadcaster that had a monopoly on radio. And so when we wanted to listen to some pop music, we would listen to Radio Luxembourg on AM, which sounded horrible, but we would do that because they had charts. Oh my God, they played the hits. And Denmark's radio, the government, kind of like our BBC, they had maybe 1 or 2 hours in the afternoon playing popular music. So we didn't have anywhere to listen to that, except for Radio Luxembourg. And even they had 3 channels. And just to give you an idea about how the situation was in Denmark, every morning from 9 to noon, they would play classical music on all 3 channels. They would have the same show on all 3 channels, where that was all we could listen to, was classical music every day from 9 in the morning to noon. And it was kind of like they wanted to educate the people what was good taste. So that was what they did, on all, no choices.
Yeah.
So when they started changing the law and said, okay, now private people can start a radio station, it was more like, okay, we'll have a way for them to come out and say what they want and all of that. They didn't really think that they wanted a place where it would be a competitor to Denmark's radio, that there would actually be people wanting to play what Radio Luxembourg was playing.
Mhm.
But yeah, that's why I found it so fascinating going into that. And I would have my job 8 hours a day, and then whenever I got off work, I would go straight to the radio station and do whatever I wanted, and play around with it. None of us was getting paid. And we were just enjoying ourselves and doing that.
How did
Uh,
you get the frequency?
well, this was the station that was open there, and I guess somebody, they applied for it. It wasn't a company that applied; it was more like some people going together. Uh, I don't even know the English word for it, but it's pretty common in Denmark that we have a structure. Like if you start a football club, or you start a stamp collectors club, that you do that. We call it a forening, like a kind of a union of people.
Like a
Uh,
consortium, sort of?
yeah, kind of. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And I was there for a couple of years. And then at some point, me and a friend of mine, Ole and we looked at each other, and Ole said, uh, can you raise a little bit of cash? And I said, what do you mean, to start a radio station? And he was like, what? How did you know I was going to say that? Because it was never anything we talked about. It was kind of like, can this even be done? And but we had the same thought at the same time. And then we didn't have enough money, so we got 2 more friends aboard, and then we had a little bit of cash to apply for a license ourselves. And it was never like we wanted to build a company. It was more like we wanted to be able to make the kind of radio that we wanted to listen to, or maybe a few of our friends wanted to listen to. Maybe some girls would be impressed that we were on this cool youth radio station. And now, what is it? 30 years later, we I'm still a co-owner. We have 17 radio stations now, and now it's a company. And yeah, so but that was the way it started. It was never our intention to start a company. It was more like fun.
Yeah.